Welcome to another episode of Sip&Ponder with SirguyIsHere. And with me on the show today, I have the best graduating students of the Department of History and International Relations, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Gifted, welcome to Sip&Ponder.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, there have been a lot of issues, trending in the country as regards geopolitics as well as Christian genocide. In fact, Christian genocide have been a trendy topic recently. But then just before we have your takes, on this issue, we are in that part of the show where we get to test what Sirguy has cooked. So test and rate what I have made on a scale of 10.
What is inside this, first of all?
A lot.
A lot. Now I'm getting scared to test it.
Are you really scared? Everything should be good, please.
Wow. It's nice. It's giving daily whiskey vibe.
I cook. So on the scale of 10, what would you rate it?
I think an 8. I think I'll give this an 8.
Guys, I cook. And apart from making something nice like this, I also cook the finest jerseys. Don't forget, I am the plug for the finest jerseys. So let's kick right into it. There have been issues of Christian genocide.
Yeah.
Issues of US intervening. In fact, they have been at the forefront of campaigning against the Christian genocide in Nigeria. So speak to this.
Well, first of all, we have to ask ourselves, does Christian genocide really exist in Nigeria? Because I realize that there are two perspectives on this particular topic. We have people that believe it's feasible and existing in the country, and we have people that do not believe such a thing exists. I myself, I had that thought too. I was like, because maybe from where I'm standing, where I live, or part of the country where I am, I've never really heard much about it, never really saw it, or never really partook of it. So I didn't think it was in existence. But when you watch the news, read some things on the internet, watch some videos people have posted, you need to see that there are two sides to this. First, you have people who believe that these are just propagandas that people are trying to use to put the country in more disparity and to make people hate the other ethnic or the other religion.
Yeah.
That's what people think. Meanwhile, on the other part, there are people that keep claiming that there are solid evidences that prove that Christian genocide actually occurred in this country. I watched a video recently of a man that was agitating, saying that where they stayed in Plateau State, they have been receiving all manner of threats. Lots of the members have been killed. As the Christian community did, they've had to bury 2 bodies per day for the past 2 months. Has been burying. Right now, I said right now that they are at a point where they are trying to fight against them. They're not going to keep quiet or wait to be killed. They are agitating. They are gathering forces to stand and protect themselves. So now these two perspectives now, how do we run with this? The first perspective that does not believe such a thing exists. They actually have a debate because when you talk about genocide, the United Nations Convention on Genocide says that for a particular action to be called genocide, there has to be an intent to wipe out partially or wholly an ethnic group, a race, or religious group. You can see evidences like that, like the Israel-Hamas issue. There's an intent to wipe out Hamas. That is why that can be called genocide directly. So, but in this case, there's not really any group, terrorist group that have come out with the aim or intent to destroy a particular religion, Christians, or to destroy a particular race or a particular ethnic group in this, if I may be excused, the nation. That's what they call it, say nation. So that is why these people on this side have a strong debate. But for those that are agitating, that are releasing evidences on the parts where they stay, that people are attacking them based on their religion. In the Christian, people are killing them, terrorists are coming. I was saying that right now in Plateau State, there are some Fulani terrorists have gathered They keep attacking them, killing them, and they have no choice but now to defend themselves. So why is it that some part of the country feel that this is in existence, while there's some part of it that actually agitates and vouches, in fact, has solid evidence that such a thing is going on in this country? That's the point.
When you look at it, when you look at the facts that are existing, you would see that over and over again, churches are being bombed. You know, there is what is known as the Christmas Day bombing.
Yeah.
You know, these things happen not just in Christian religious centers. It also happens on days that Christians gather at a particular space. However, I like to look at this from a very, very different perspective.
Okay.
As a student of international politics as well, I would like to look at it from the geopolitical side of it.
Okay.
You would have it that whenever the US pushes, they say that there is no free meal in international relations. Whenever the US pushes for a particular agenda, you have every reason to look at this beyond the surface. Now let me take you back to the Jonathan's regime as the president of the country. I think that was the start of Boko Haram.
Yeah.
You would have it that when these people started, when they started with committing these heinous crimes, you know, the Jonathan's administration was pushing for Washington to declare and recognize the Boko Haram as an international terrorist organization. They refused. The US, that is championing Christian genocide today, refused to recognize Boko Haram as an international terrorist organization under the regime of Goodluck. That wasn't even the end. In fact, when we decided to buy arms from them and fight people who were busy bombing churches, killing innocent Christians as well as Nigerians, they refused to sell arms to Nigeria. They even imposed a ban on Nigeria, on, you know, restricting us from purchasing arms against international markets. So when you look at this issue, you would ask yourself, why all of a sudden are they now championing Christian genocide? Is there actually Christian genocide in Nigeria, or there is an ulterior motive behind the US, you know, championing this? To me, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. I think that there is genocide against the Nigerian people. So I like you to speak more, you know, on this, especially as regards the international side of it.
Well, the truth remains that major powers usually and will always have something to do with actions and the reactions that occur in third world countries, if I may use the word. Like what you just said now, there have been attacks, quite all right, from Boko Haram, from Fulani Herdsmen, from all sorts of groups against people in some parts of the country and the other parts of the country, depending on the side they are dealing with from. But the fact remains that the issue there is the evidence. There's no evidence to prove any of this. And if you speak based on what you know and what you do not know, it becomes an imbalance. So that's why when we want to talk on this particular topic, we have to balance both of it. I may beg to differ in this aspect because let's take the Owo killing, for an instance, that happened in 2022 and the Catholic Church. Unknown gunmen, that's what they tagged them, came into a church, killed the priest, shot, massacred everybody inside, and left.
That wouldn't even be the first time priests have been killed.
Okay, let's put it that way. But now, that is one part of it. There is no excuse to the fact that Christians are facing attacks.
They are the targets, yes.
They are attacked. They have constantly been attacked. But on the other side, there is also no excuse that a lot of other people from the northern part of Nigeria are also facing several attacks. Like in Borno State, so many things happen. And not just Christians, Muslims and people that practice other religions are also being affected.
When you look at the statistics, you see that more Muslims have been killed than Christians.
Yes, that is why the term genocide is an issue in this point. That is why people that come from the perspective of no genocide have an actual solid debate, because they have a lot of evidence to prove it. I think I read in a paper some time ago that over 6,000 Christians have been killed in the process of 5 years. I think, yeah, from 2020 to 2025. But the problem is that there is no clear intent. Be it that the action is backed by a major world power like the US, like you say, or backed by anybody, or even backed by Nigerian government. The intent is what the problem is. Let's take, for example, the Rwandan genocide that happened years back between the Hutu and the Tutsi ethnic groups. Now, the Hutu clearly stated that the Tutsis were Inyenzi, something they call them the Inyenzi, which in Rwanda means cockroaches. Yeah, so they saw them as less of humans and had the intent to wipe them out. We shouldn't be made to live with these cockroaches, so we should take them off the charts, take them off the surface of the earth. That is a clear statute of genocide. But in our case, since a lot of people are being involved in this killing on both sides, on various sides, the clear intent of genocide is missing.
I need you to buttress a little bit on this. If I am getting you right, you're saying that for a case of genocide to be proved, there should be someone who puts out a statement that is responsible for the actions that are being carried out. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not just a statement, but an intent, like an aim. I told you.
Because in Biafra's, there is a case of Biafran genocide. There was I don't think there was any such statement that says we want to kill the Igbos, but from the actions, because those that are saying that there is Christian genocide are speaking from the perspective of the actions that are in play.
Yes. Yeah, I think that is also a good point. But the fact is that we are basing this discussion on the UN Convention on Genocide. Which states that there must be an intent, either maybe by word statement like Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, or by action. But on the fact that these actions are half-hearted, on the fact that these actions do not exclude other religions from these killings and from these terrorist activities, that is why that particular observation is not strong enough to hold as genocide.